Hi, my name is Robert. This video is designed to give you step-by-step detailed instructions on completing the task at hand. Please read the comments in the About section of this video. It has valuable information and updates. My YouTube channel has a disclaimer video that I encourage you to watch. And please like, share, and subscribe. I hope you found what you're looking for. Thank you very much for watching. In this video, I am going to explain what I believe you need to know when deciding to replace the fuel pump, remove the fuel tank, disconnect the fuel lines on this Jaguar XJ8. This probably applies to all of the Jaguar XJ8 from, I don't know, 1998 to 2003, the X308 series, maybe some of the others as well. The fuel lines are connected to the fuel tank under the vehicle, behind and above the rear axle. So if you're dealing with that, this video is probably for you. Now, I separated the information video from the actual procedure video. So if you decide that you want to go through with doing the job after watching this information, you can go in the comment section and go to that video following that link. So this is basically part 1 of 2. Part 1 is explaining the job. Part 2 is doing the job. This job, well, saying it mildly, was pretty difficult. I had a couple of issues, did some damage, mainly because I tried to use another YouTube video that had bad information on it, caused me to damage a fuel line. So in this video, I try to explain how to prevent a few pitfalls. First of all, you need to understand that I don't believe you can properly do this without disconnecting the fuel lines under the tank. The tank is located in the trunk. The fuel line access is on the bottom of the car above the rear differential. I believe the proper procedure to disconnect these fuel lines and remove this fuel tank is that you need to drop the rear suspension, getting the differential out of the way so you can access the fuel line connectors. Then you use the release tool, or one that you may have manufactured or seen some comparable rig by someone else, to release those fuel lines, disconnect the fuel lines, then go inside the trunk and remove the trunk and remove the fuel tank out of the trunk. I tried a few different ways and a few different tools, even made that tool out of the plumbing fitting to get the lines disconnected. Still difficult job. After trying several things, this was the tool that I was able to actually get those loose with. I got these from O'Reilly's. I'm sure you can get them from other places. I hope you can see the part number on there. Let me read that off in case you can't. W83149. Performance tool. I use these to get the fuel line loose. I used the smallest one, I believe. Pushed it up there, pressed it in place. It was able to unlatch the line connector. Then I had a little bit of a difficult time pulling the line loose, but like I said, this is the best tool to use as far as I know. After the fuel lines are released and unplugged from the tank, then you can go inside the trunk and take the fuel tank loose, pull it out of the trunk area, or at least far enough so that you can access the top of the tank, and then go inside the tank and remove the pump. Here's a couple of pitfalls that are waiting for you when you do this job. Number 1, the fuel line releases under the car above the differential are extremely difficult to access. I couldn't even see them. Took me probably 15 minutes to locate them. Then, without dropping the rear end, I could barely get my hand in there. I don't have large hands. I don't know how you could do it on this model without some kind of extension tool to get those lines released. Another pitfall I had was there's an electrical connector, a large connector with a lot of wiring. It's a big wiring harness. It's above the tank in the trunk on the passenger side. I had difficulty getting that plug disconnected, so be careful in that. When I pulled the tank out, I didn't have the lines released, so I actually roughed up that connector. When I put that stuff back together, the connector didn't make a good connection, and we have had issues with check engine lights and other electrical problems because of that connector was roughed up a little bit. Finally got that together right. Difficult. The hoses on top of the tank, a little tight to get those disconnected. One of them actually split a little bit. I had to trim it. That could be a problem with having vacuum leaks and throwing air coats there. So do be advised of those three major difficulties and try to avoid that so you don't cause any problems after you get the job done. Another thing that you need to be aware of and cautious of when repairing or replacing the fuel pumps in these Jaguars is this electrical connector I'm about to show you. I replaced the pump, a lot of work getting the pump in and out. The pump burned up and failed in about 60 days, less than 3,000 miles. You don't want that happening to you. One of my viewers said that they had multiple pumps burn up. So this is something you need to look out for. Plug the connector on that pump, and the connector looks like this. The end of it's starting to deteriorate. The positive post on it looks burnt. This radio suppressor is likely bad. So you need to get this whole harness and replace it inside the tank, or you're going to keep burning up fuel pumps. I am not sure if this caused the pump to burn up in the first place, but it definitely caused my new pump to burn up in less than 3,000 miles in 60 days. Your pump, and you can look in there at the pins, and one of them looks burnt, then you likely need to replace that wire harness going to this pump. One viewer that was kind enough to respond to me told me that he burned up 4 pumps, one after the other, until he replaced that harness. My opinion is, if you can afford to pay somebody else to do it, preferably the Jaguar shop, pay somebody else to do it, a professional. If you can't afford to do that, that would be the only reason I would say to try it yourself. Number 1, disconnect the fuel lines. Number 2, be careful with that plug connector. Number 3, be careful with those vacuum lines on top of the tank. Other than that, it's a breeze. Now, my local Jaguar dealer wanted about $580 for the pump. I ordered the pump from the link in the comment section for about $275. That's a big difference to me, $300. Now, that's only if you want to use the OEM Jaguar pump. I think that pump is robust, very good quality pump. You can get aftermarket pumps ranging from $50 on up, but if you're attached to using OEM good quality parts, may you want to get the pump from the place that I got mine. I also ended up replacing the filter, and because I destroyed a fuel line, I ended up replacing a fuel line as well. So that's where I'm at. I hope the video is helpful. Here's my brother's Jaguar. It's a 2003, very late 2003 XJ8. It has a crank no start condition. I'm assuming that it's the fuel pump because it doesn't have a check engine light. It's kind of randomly happened, and we cannot hear the fuel pump when he tries to crank it. The fuel pump is located in the fuel tank, which is in the trunk area behind the seat, in front of the trunk we can't hear it at all. So I'm assuming it just simply failed. So it's best to troubleshoot this stuff, but from my experience, this vehicle has not had a fuel pump replacement. My brother-in-law runs it very low on fuel a lot, so I'm just assuming it's the fuel pump. It's got almost 150,000 miles. Usually if you continually run your fuel pump low, your fuel tank low, the pump will go out sooner than if you keep it more than a quarter of a tank. As long as fuel is flowing through the pump, it keeps it cool. I think my brother-in-law actually runs this vehicle out of gas from time to time. I know that I've come and got him off the side of the road from running out of gas. When you run a vehicle out of gas, you should never try to restart it. When you try to restart it over and over again, it overheats the fuel pump and causes premature failure. Sometimes they fail right away when you do that. So here's a couple things that you can do to troubleshoot a bad fuel pump. However, I'm just going to go ahead and replace this one because I already ordered it and got it in. If you look at the comments section, there is a link in the comments that has a video that I did that shows you symptoms of a bad or failing fuel pump. You may also want to watch that. Okay, number one, I couldn't hit a fuel pump. Number two, I couldn't find any codes in the OBD2 system. The next thing I'm going to do is open the hood, see if I can find a fuel schrader valve on the fuel rail, and I'm going to check for pressure on the fuel rail. US cars, US passenger side, steering wheel's on the left, I'm on the right. You pull this cover up and off of the engine, it just pulls right up, and right there you'll see the fuel rail. It normally has this cap on there, and this is a little valve that you could test to see if you get fuel pressure. Take you a screwdriver or some object, tap that valve in, fuel should shoot up out of there and in your face and in your eyes if the pressure's good. So you might want to put a rag over it if you want to test it for fuel pressure. But as you can see here, we have no fuel pressure. Another thing you could do is check the relay and the fuse. If you pull up the panels back here, set them aside, your fuse panel and your fuses are under here. And somebody made a nice video to show you how to do that. One of these is the relay. Another one of these is actually the fuse. I pulled the relay out of there and I checked the fuses. I think the fuse is 14 or 15 or something like that. Anyway, all these fuses are good. One thing I did in troubleshooting this fuel pump for the second time was I did pull the relay out and I jumped 30 to 87. I did get power up to the pump, but I could still not hear the pump running. So I bought a new fuel pump relay just to make sure it had a brand new good fuel pump relay in there in case the relay had something to do with it failing. Sometime when these relays go bad, they'll cycle the fuel pump hundreds of times in a day, which of course will short it out or wear it out. So now it's got a new relay in the position, and if this had two pumps, the other relay would be there. Some cars have two pumps, one there, one there. All these relays are the same part number, so this relay only cost me, I think, somewhere around $14. Now that you've watched this information video, you can click the link in the comment section to go to the actual procedural video, and at least now you know if this is something you want to actually carry out and go through. Thanks for watching. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.